The pilot, deep in sleep, got a rude awakening from a mother goat licking his face. When he finally ripped off his sleep mask, he nearly had a heart attack, realizing he was dangling from a cliff hundreds of feet up in the air. Peering down at the clouds below, his legs turned to jelly. Thankfully, his parachute had snagged on a dead tree, which miraculously kept him from plummeting. But the cliff behind him was just a slick sheet of ice, making it impossible to climb up just by muscle power. Then it hit him. He had a few small knives in his leather jacket. He quickly shoved them into his boots, rigging up some makeshift climbing shoes. But just a few meters up, the knives snapped. The rapid fall started snapping branches above him. Realizing things were going south fast, he swiftly cut the rope, and just dodged a falling tree at the last second. He narrowly escaped a nasty fate, but now, he was out of options, and soon he was struggling to hold on. That's when he spotted the goat that had licked him now at the bottom of the cliff. Taking a cue from the goat, he started to climb up using his hands and feet, but just as he reached a ledge, the ice beneath him gave way. In a split-second decision, he sprinted up the goat's back and managed to grab the edge of the cliff. He thought he was about to escape his predicament, but then a male goat suddenly appeared at the top of the cliff. He nearly lost his soul right there, knowing a fall would mean certain death. But in a desperate move, he grabbed the goat's horns, and using the goat's backward momentum, he hoisted himself up to the top. He had just dodged another bullet. He quickly tried to calm the male goat down, worried about being spotted by the bad guys inside, because his journey of vengeance was just beginning. Turns out, his son had been wrongly identified as a spy on the battlefield, and was killed before he could clear his name. Devastated, he cried daily, not only having lost his only son, but also failing his dying wife's last wish. He refused to believe his son was a spy. Perhaps he had uncovered some dark secrets, and was framed for it. After 2.5 years of digging, he discovered that his son was killed by a mysterious group embedded within the military. Their lair, however, was perched on an inaccessible cliff. To avoid tipping them off, he decided to parachute onto the cliff top, which led to the opening scene. After a grueling climb to the top, he arrived fully armed inside enemy territory, then quickly shot a flare to his comrades below. Using a pulley, they pulled up Agent Black, and in a flawless team effort, they swiftly neutralized all the enemies present. When he opened the door, he finally confronted the mastermind behind his son's murder. Seeing the smug look on the man's face, he was so enraged his veins popped. Then they engaged in a fierce battle. Surprisingly, the man was incredibly tough, and after several rounds, he still couldn't take him down. Then, the sly man threw a grenade at him. Luckily, he grabbed a shield just in time, saving himself from being blown to smithereens. The next second, the man charged, pushing him to the edge of the cliff. Just in the nick of time, the male goat appeared and stabbed the man in the thigh with its horns. Seizing the moment, he got up and launched a fierce attack, then pulled out his son's medal, telling the villain to stop killing innocents in his next life. If you like, feel free to follow, bro.